We are live now.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Yeah, Vatsala, should we begin?
Yes, sir. So I'll just start and
Yeah,
then
please.
thank you. So very warm welcome to all the attendees. Thank you for being here with us today. I am Vatsala Khare from the Startup Incubation and Innovation Center at IIT Kanpur, where I lead the mentorship program. We are excited to bring to you the follow-up webinar in our angel investment series. Thank you for your positive feedback on our previous session, which covered the basics of angel investment. To deepen your understanding further, today we will be exploring successful case studies of startups that have thrived with the support of angel investors. This session will highlight both their achievements and the challenges faced on the journey. We are pleased to have today with us Mr. Ronnie Banerjee, our mentor and advisor, leading the discussion. Ronnie, sir, is a seasoned leader with over 2 decades of experience across a diverse array of sectors, including MSMEs, education, and government advisory roles. He also has an active role in guiding startups. His career has seen him on prominent roles at EY, HCL Infotech Limited, Centum Learning Limited, the National Institute of Fashion Technology, and the Office of Development Commissioner, Handlooms, Government of India. Currently, he serves as consultant at various platforms of national importance, focusing on India's flourishing startup ecosystem. In this role, he leverages his extensive background to help foster innovation, encourage investment, and provide guidance to early stage ventures. Prior to his role uh, at, at the Invest India, he was an advisor at Ernst& Young within the micro, small, and medium enterprises practice, where he provided strategic insights on enterprise development, financial inclusion, and capacity building, playing a key role in the RAMP program, which focused on raising and accelerating MSME performance. Additionally, Ronnie Sir is an active mentor at our incubator, where he guides emerging entrepreneurs across various sectors, shaping the strategic decision of incubated startups. His expertise spans enterprise development, startup ecosystem support, access to finance, markets, government policy advisory, and strategic investment planning. He has also contributed significantly to academia, offering his insights to support community-based cooperatives and farmer producer organizations. Ronnie Sir's intellectual contributions extend his work as an author also. He recently published a book titled Nano Delights, where he provided a unique blend of statistical analysis and storytelling to explore the street food business ecosystem. This work underscores his innovative approach to understanding complex socio-economic systems through quantitative methods. His leadership, mentorship, and advisory work have made him a significant figure in fostering India's innovation and startup landscape. I welcome you, Ronnie, sir, to take over the session now, and I encourage the participants present here today to make the session more interactive. Please share your questions in the chat box, and if anyone wishes to engage in a dialogue with the speaker, please feel free to raise your hand and we will unmute you. Over to you now, sir.
Thank you, Vatsala. You said so many good words. Even I was not aware that I had been through this journey. Thank you so much for that. Send me the transcript. I'll use
Sure.
it in my CV somewhere.
Sure.
Ah. Well, good morning. Good morning. I see around 20 attendees. I'm sure all of them, or at least the majority of them, are the early startups, right? And I can recognize a couple of names also while we were doing this, city cohort. So probably I came across these names also. I see Abhishek, Aditya, Anushri, Balaji, Deepak, Fireflies.ai, Gaurav Patil, so on and so forth. But one catches my attention. Hyde Hemp India Private Limited. I'll look into this separately for a different purpose. Uh, so Vatsala, can we have the slides or transcripts that we have? No worries, no worries. Well, thank you. Can you please ask somebody to put it on full screen mode? Great, 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 great. So, when I was asked to take a session on successful case studies of angel funded companies, I'm sure all of us, when we talk about success in India of angel funded companies, all big names come to us. But at the very moment, I decided that I'll not talk about the rich and the famous ones. The reason being that our media has covered a lot more than what they have achieved, and it has been a hype. So, being a storyteller, I thought I should talk about lesser known or unknown such companies or startups which has come up successfully and can be taken up as cases. I keep my comments reserved at this juncture, stating that success does not mean always being an unicorn. I believe this very strongly. Success can be an enterprise, a startup can be a success if it is sustainable and goes a long way, even not being near to unicorns. Right. So I'll plug my conversation right at this moment. Guys, I'm sure you people are able to hear me clearly. Participants, I can have your responses in the chat box as well. That if you cannot, let me know. I think everybody is able to hear me out. Am I audible?
So you're audible, they can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we can move on to the next slide. Yeah. So that is what I said, that the first successful ventures which comes to our mind immediately would be the Olas and Paytms and Flipkarts and Big Basket and Oyos of the world, that they have taken angel fundings and they have, reached a level of success through their size and everything. Yet, um, these cases are all over. Anybody can just go to Google and read ample number of pages about their success stories. So instead of talking about Ola and Flipkart and their growth stories, I would like to discuss two very unique cases. One is popular and the second one is less popular, but they are successful angel funded entities. So that takes us forward. We can move on to the next slide. So just follow. I'll be talking extempore, but the slides would give you that cue. So the participants, if you have anything in mind, just keep a note of that. And towards the end of the session, we can connect one over here. Or else at the end of the session, I'll give you my WhatsApp number also. So you can also connect one to one. No worries. So you are not missing out on anything. And at the end of the day, the entire session is getting recorded as well as this transcript of slides are there. So Vatsala can share that with you all as well. So no worries. Keep your notes ready and let's proceed in a flow. So before directly jumping into the stories of these two cases which I have picked for today's session, um, as Vatsala said that last time you had a session on the basics of angel funding. So I'll just touch a few nerves, touch a few notes over there in order to understand that exactly what we are talking about right now is well perceived or not. So let's understand why should we at all go for angel fundings. So can I have a couple of comments in the chat box stating that why is it essential or why it is not essential? Hmm.
So we have an answer. It is to capture the market fast, to scale up the business.
Okay. To get boost in terms of money for GTM. Uh, Great. Okay. That can be an understanding to get boost in terms of money for GTM. Right. Okay. So your answer resolves the next line in green that choosing to raise angel funds can be a strategic decision. So this can be a strategic decision. For GTM, you may need some boosting factors. Okay, fine. We will carry on with this. We can go to the next slide. Achha, I have another comment and product development. Angel funding is a bit more intimate, approachable, and comes with a lot of network. Wonderful. Exactly. This is the crux of it. So it comes with very less load, very less liabilities. This is wonderful. Wonderful. It's Kalpit Aperio. Okay, great. I don't know whether I pronounce the name fairly or not, but I got your message. So our next slide has certain points to ponder, which reflects on what you are thinking about, that angel funds provide early stage startups with capital. Not only that, unlike other funds, but with mentorship and strategic support as well. Not always, but almost at all the times. And the if we go by certain bullets that we can carry forward always is it's a kind of an access to capital at a very early stage. You started bootstrapped or you had some little fund available with you. But when we talk about access to credit, access to capital, access to finance, it's sometimes very difficult for early stage startups because the trust factor is still very low. Still very, unless and until you are backed by a very strong incubator or a very strong cohort like Citi or anybody else. So at early stage, it's a challenge. So at that point in time, if you have an angel with lesser liabilities, lesser deliverables, lesser commitments, it's always useful. This is one strong point which we always say that why we should, when we talk about accessing angel funds. More so when it is an angel funding, the requirements, the prerequisites. Acha, by the way, tell me, are you all comfortable in English or should I switch in between English and Hindi?
Sir, English mode is better.
Okay, great. Nothing like it. So, the requirements are less stringent. You need lesser paperwork. You get more support. More so, it comes with the mentorship experience. Then there is a kind of a risk tolerance. When we talk about risk tolerance, you have lower risks because your risks are much covered, much plugged. And again, when it comes to diluting your equity, it's very, very meager or sometimes no. So that is something. And yes, everybody knows that majorly it's a non-debt fund. There is no repayment pressure. Then the funds are industry specific, unlike other larger funds wherein it's not the industry but the growth or the size of the company which is the determining factor. But in case of angel startups, is more so about the industry, more so about the sector. So the people who are funding in your venture are very close to the idea or the impact that you are intending to create is more closer to their heart, and they indulge into your day-to-day activities as well as your progress or your failures, whatever they are there, right? What I would say, these are three more points I had in mind. That flexibility in terms of negotiations. Well, negotiations, I would say that actual negotiation does not happen at angel level. It's always a kind of a sharing or a kind of a mutual cooperation. But still, when we take it in terms of vocabulary that we keep on institutionalizing from time to time, yes, negotiations have a lot of flexibility. The term sheets are not that stringent. Yes, this is from the startup side or the enterprises side, that validation and credibility of your idea, your enterprise, your way forward, your growth story, your projections, your ROIs that you project, your scale up. So here, when it is a angel funder coming to you, the story is much easier because your own progress, your own showcasing, your own presentation is your credibility at the moment until you have a POC or you have the MVP. Until that stage, your entire personal commitments leads you to the validation, and that's your credibility. So you try to maintain that. I have observed among certain startups that once they are into any incubation center, they feel that their first milestone is over, but it is not over. You have to be very patient. You have to be very, courteous. You have to be very soft for the various stages of funding until you go to the series. Even at the stage of series fund, you have to be very, 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 accommodative, and the environment around you should be very conducive from either ways. So you know what I am trying to say without the words putting into my statements. So try to be that. And obviously, multiple funding rounds would come. We can go to the next slide. We are at 11:26. We have another 35 minutes with that. So let me come to the case study. Now, how many of you know about Shop Kirana? How many of you have heard the name of Shop Kirana? I can have it in the chat box. Yeah, yeah. No. I got one no. More responses? No. Okay. So I am getting to my objective in the right manner. If I get too many no's, I know that it's not a popular one. It's not a Flipkart, Ola, or a Uber story which everybody knows. It's good that you say no. So let us now look at this. So I have a short, just one single slide. I have two slides in this. I have a single slide which talks about the framework of this Shop Kirana, the funding they raised, and their business model and mission. So it was something founded in 2015 by two young gentlemen, Mohit Jain and Deepak Tiwari, at Indore. Now, Indore is a, what I would say, Vatsala, it's the womb of startups. है ना, वो कोक है, वहां से हजारों लाखों स्टार्टअप्स जन्मते हैं. So, legendary इंदौर में they started as a B2B e-commerce supply chain and retail platform. Now, their business model was that they focused on digitizing the supply chain for small and medium-sized retailers, kirana stores, grocery stores, neighborhood stationery stores, by connecting them directly with FMCG companies. Now, this was something which was not a very great innovation. There were other enterprises also who were doing it. Largely within the even before 2016 or 15, when startups started becoming popular in our country, even decades before that, there were such platforms within the cooperative fold, within the society fold, within the trust fold, within the NGO domain, who also tried the same thing, and they did it to some extent. But what these people did, where the innovation was, it was the digitizing part, that you have an app, and on that app, the B and the other B is there. So in real time, the movements and the transactions could be categorically seen. So that was their innovation. So largely what they did, they resolved a very simple solution that Hindustan Lever supplying to a neighborhood store would come through a FMCG stockist, then through a wholesaler, then through an agency, delivering agency, and then through a vendor to the retailer. So within this chain, within this supply chain, what they resolved was connecting Hindustan Lever directly to the neighborhood shop while digitizing the efforts, right? So, so obviously the next lines in the slide say that that would streamline the inventory flow, that would from the producer or the manufacturing FMCG company to the retailer, the um, value chain where the supply chain moves. So it becomes more streamlined. The inventory movements are categorically strong. It's a kind of a just-in-time GIT kind of a thing. Obviously, price factor was very important, competitive pricing. So a shopkeeper who used to sell Colgate toothpaste for 20 rupees and purchased it for 18 rupees, probably now started getting it delivered to his shop at 17 rupees. And where the competitiveness was on either side. One, that he got it a money rupee lesser of GST to be paid. And the second thing, that he could also offer some benefits and pass on the benefits to the customer. Why the customer would buy the Colgate toothpaste from him? Because that in place of 20 rupees, he was getting it at, no, he was selling it at 19 rupees. So he was able to pass 1 rupee to the customer, end user as well. So you probably must have seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years, whichever shops you go right now in India, I would not say they had been catered by Shop Kirana, but through similar platforms wherein you do not pay the same MRP for FMCG anymore. You always get a discount, be it online or offline. Even my Kirana shop offers a discount of at least 7 to 8, 10% almost on certain FMCGs. So how is it that happening? It's all because of similar value chains coming into place, which is not a D2C, but it's a B2B2C in a manner that in between B2B, the various other B1, B2, B3 are skipped, right? And another model, it's just coming to my mind. I'm just quoting. If you have heard about Hippo, have you heard about Hippo? Hippo stores. You haven't. Now, every tier 1 city is having a Hippo store. It's kind of a dark store, but it's not a dark store wherein they sell anything and everything around house building. So if you have to buy a basin, wash basin or tiles or cement or wraith, balus, whatever, so you get it at a lesser price because they have also done the same thing. So I'm just quoting these examples uh, to give you an understanding in your own perspective that the people who are here on this cohort from wherever they are, they can identify similar mechanisms and models. So coming back to our Shop Kirana did this. They were one of the first movers, and uh, it largely operated in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. It's still there, and while they progressed, we are coming to the angel part of it. They initially raised some angel money from some undisclosed investors. And later on, Naukri.com, they put in some incubation fund over there, some funds. And other angel networks also positioned themselves, and they could raise around 10 million in a Series B funding ultimately. So the business is still there. It's sustainable. The model is sustainable. The model has been replicated within various industries other than FMCGs. The model has been largely and recently been replicated by all these grocery selling, those famous companies which have come up, which delivers milk right from the cow to your cup of tea. Huh? So they have all replicated this model. So the innovation that all of them must have worked upon was the digitization and smart moving of inventory and competition. So that gives you a fair idea of a Shop Kirana or a Shop Kirana kind of a startup. And probably many of you are planning something like that as well. So they could succeed in raising their angel in stages, step by step, while culminating their success story in doable way, in a very doable way. They also knew that it was replicable, but they went ahead. So this gives a fair idea about Shop Kirana. We can go to the next slide and we go into the challenges and the, So these are all statistics. I'll just read it out. It reported a 250% YOY growth by 2020-21, and by 2020 they had already secured 25,000 Kirana stores across multiple states, 7 or 8 states they work. And from Indore they went into 7 similar cities, majorly through in Tier 2 and Tier 3. And initially, now the number of orders have increased. Initially, it was around 2,000 orders per day across this network of 25,000 Kirana shops. Now it has gone to around 3,000, yet not reported, 3,000, 3,500 orders. It has come with a shock all because of, certain cities having Blinkits, Zepto, and Dunzos coming in to the play, Big Basket, etc. coming into the play, but they have sustainably grown. So I will not read this impact and success factors. You can just go through it. These are all pointers. So largely what they did, they created the story with digitization of the supply chain, movement of inventory, that was inventory management, and major tie-ups with FMCG. Their sector was FMCG. So they almost collaborated with any and every brand, which which I do not know, be it Unilever, Nestle, P&G. They had forged a relationship. So this was what, and another point which captures my attention is that they had a very localized approach. It was nothing as such that they went on TV or they went on social media going gaga about their great things and deeds, because it was not that time. 2015, 16, 17 was not the era of social media promotion at that level. So, but their sustenance or their success was much more on the delivery structure at the local levels. So people started talking about Kirana wala started talking about कि चलो shop कोई गया उसके दुकान में for purchasing something and he said that it's not readily available, but you come back in the evening, I'll get it through Shop Kirana. Exactly the way today, when you make any UPI payment, be it through Bheem, PhonePe, BharatPe, whatever, people say Paytm kar do. So doing an UPI transaction has now become Paytm kar do. Exactly the way people started talking about this. ये वाला अपना तो दैट बिकेम अ नोमेनक्लेचर कि हम उससे किस मंगवा लेंगे. They had some challenges and they came over it, pulled up. Initially, they had to do a lot of convincing to the Kirana shop owners as well as to the FMCG owners. So for building that trust and people adapting to their platform was a tough journey for them. And it was not like burning cats. They are probably one of such enterprises which has burnt less. Like today, I would not name, but about all the big names, even unicorns, who burnt a lot of cash to buy the trust. So they were one who did not do that. And all because of these reasons, their angels had a trust factor invested in them. More so, one technical benefit that they leveraged was that they operated in Tier 2, Tier 3 smaller geographies. Unlike, suppose if something gets launched in NCR today, which is a similar service, reaching out from the east to the west will itself be a challenge. Right from Greater Noida up to the end of Gurgaon would be a challenge. But what they did, they operated in such geographies which were something like a controlled atmospheric chamber, wherein the temperature got regulated equally and distributed equally within that geography. So they had that benefit. They leveraged it as one of their strategies. So I think I am done with this part of the case study. And, what can be done is that I'm sure before I go to the next case study, we are at 11:40. So I can take a couple of questions right now, if it is coming.
We are open for questions. If anyone
Yeah,
has
5 minutes we'll do
question,
that.
yeah, you can raise your hand. We'll unmute you also.
Hmm.
Alternatively, you can type your questions in the chat box or
Yeah, you can
Q&A.
even, type your questions in the chat box. We will address it later. You can even question that whether this is an apt case or not. Oh, I get that good going. I don't have any questions till now. No, you may even question the frugality of this case as well. This is an open session, so you can ask that why? We did not see anything much happening. We did not see the names of the angel investors. We saw that they secured 10 million. And you say that there had not been much innovation, but how did they do it? They had competitors, they had replicators. So you can
Rishabh,
even ask those questions as well.
Rishabh, please unmute Shubham Pandey.
Sure.
Shubham, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Thank you so much, Vastula. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, it's very nice meeting you. And actually, I have been following for a long time. Actually, I sent you a LinkedIn request, but I guess you did not
Acha, so
accept it.
I must have connected then, Shubham.
Yeah. Sir, actually, I had some queries. Actually, I'm a deep tech startup where I am making something for digital forensics. And the moment I
Tell me
communicate,
in simple what exactly do you sell?
yes, sir. I
क्या
sell,
बेचते हो?
yes, sir. I sell a hardware device that helps in data acquisition for a forensic inspector. I sell that, sir. My startup is at a POC state. I have built something, sir. I have the proof of concept.
Have you
But
done some testings
yes, sir,
with
I have done
real
some testing.
clients? Who are your clients? Name a couple of them.
Sir, actually, basically, one is C3IF, sir. We are collaborating with them to test my product.
Hmm.
Other than that, sir, we are in just talk, sir. Actually, we are a 6-month-old startup, so we are just expanding in terms of
Right.
we can really communicate.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah,
but
I know, I
yes,
understand.
sir. Sir, we needed certain monies to make a better product. But the
Hmm.
moment we discuss it with any angel investor,
Hmm.
the moment it gets technical, they lose interest very often. So how can we tackle that?
So I gave you my answer while I already interacted with you right now. I asked you two questions. What do you sell and who are your clients? And my third question was, you have a POC, but have you tested it? So when I said tested it, so obviously you are not going to test it in my kitchen. You will be going to some such kitchen which needs your services, right? So here, tell me one thing, Shubham, when you go to buy grocery, if you go to buy bananas, what do you do?
So you ask him if the bananas are good or not.
No. At your age, what we used to do, we used to go to the thela, pick a banana, peel it and eat it and say that it's not that good, but I can take it at 10 rupees lesser. Even today, when I go to a Mungfali seller, Vatsala mentioned about my book. So my book started at one of the Mungfali seller counters, where every afternoon we would go and by the time he would weigh our 50 rupees worth Mungfali peanuts, we would pluck 10, 12 and eat it out right there. And even today, Vatsala would confide with me that whenever we go to a Golgappa seller, at the end of the day, after having the paid version, we say, yaar wo sukha wala de do ek. So you are getting my answer. That is why I asked that have you tested it? So here the spelling of test is T-E-S-T and T-A-S-T-E. So
So
go.
that is interesting, sir.
So what you have to do is, and that is how it would work, that if you have your POC ready, go talk to any of the prospective clients which can convert into one of your early stage funders and tell them you have to burn a little bit of money from your pocket. You tell them, sir, I am putting this device in front of you at your place. I am not going to take any money. You run it for 30 days, 60 days, whatever. You call me as many times as you can. If you have any doubts, whether you are feeling good about it or not, just use it. No conditions applied. Don't tell you tell them I am a FMCG seller. I am selling this machine. You know what? The best of the best computers are not sold by engineers. They are sold by a sales force who does not know what is inside that computer. So you become a sales force for yourself. Machine लो उसके यहाँ लगा दो. I'll give you an example, a real example from my own life. One of my friends, one of my batchmates, he was the owner of a steel plant. मतलब their family owned a steel plant in Bihar. So Dina Iron and Steel. So and they were there for around 80 years. I'm talking about 10 years back. 10, 15 years back. So being a friend, we used to visit his factory and stay there, enjoy and come back. So one day I saw this JCB people, these JCBs, the earth movers, machine, JCB का जो machine होता है ना, पीला वाला, जो अभी सब जगह दिखते हैं. Shubham.
Yes, sir.
हाँ. So one of these JCB guys, he was visiting his factory, and when he came to visit the factory, he came in a JCB, in a multi-loader JCB, which is used in iron and steel factories. So he said that, sir, I have come with this machine and I had put in only 5 liters of petrol in this. So I do not have enough fuel to take it back. So I just want this machine to be there in your campus, and whenever I have money to fill in petrol, I'll take it back. In the meanwhile, if you want, you can put in your own petrol and use it. So actually, he had sold his machine on that very first day. After 30 days, my friend, what he did, he called up that guy and said that your machine works wonderfully. I don't want to give it back. And I want to buy 3. Give me a good price. So probably, Shubham, in your case, what you are trying to sell is nothing as such, which would be something as a FMCG, like a toothpaste or a cold drink bottle that people would try and then have another option to try it. It would be towards a market which is specifically determined. You have done some study, some research, and you had done that need assessment for coming up with this startup. So you have your client in mind, and that you will not have another client. You will have the same set of clients throughout your life for whom you have designed that product. So go and give them a freebie. Usko chhoro, take that risk. He will come back to you. That's for sure. With funds, with support, whatever, pre-orders, whatever.
Ronnie, that was fantastic. Thank you for your time. I understood what I need to do.
Exactly.
Thank you, Shubha. Please mute yourself. So, sir, I don't see any more hand raises or any
So
questions.
we can go to the next case.
Yes.
So it's about Fitso. So if I ask again that if you know about this, I will get all no's. Does anybody know about Fitso? Does anybody know about Zomato? Yes, everybody knows. So Fitso is now owned by Zomato. It was acquired by Zomato. Right? It was around 2020 or 2021, Zomato acquired them. So let us come to the case. Again, let me give you a small backdrop that it was again, I had picked up cases from that era when startup ecosystem has just started emerging in our country, 2013, 14, 15. So again, this is a company that was formed in 2015. It's a Gurgaon grown company, NCR wala. And in terms of funding, yes, you can see there that they raised approximately $4 lakh in seed funding from Angel. And in 2021, after that, their growth trajectory was very positive, and ultimately in 2021, Zomato acquired them. What was their business model? Now, this business model has nothing to do with anything with food business of Zomato. So what they offered as Fitso was, it was a platform of fitness coaching. So they had a pool of fitness trainers, I would say coaches and trainers, exactly the way Byju's had a fleet of, tutors, right? It's the same way, the fitness trainers. And they offered customized services. So, and they had tied up with certain infrastructures also, sports infrastructures also. And they also did not become an unicorn, but it is sustaining. That model is there. If you go into the layers, you will find that that model is there. Even today, if you want, you can have their memberships through Zomato, and then you can have customized modules for fitness modules or specific focused sports intensive modules. Like if you want to do something in swimming, or if you want to do something in professional cycling, so they will, the app or the platform that works, it will keep a tag of your entire 24/7 365 activity. Like in our houses right now, we have two types of people. The children at our home, some are who would go to play tennis just as a sport. They go or they do not go. But there are homes which have children, they feel that मेरे बेटे को तो क्रिकेटर बनना है, प्रोफेशनल क्रिकेटर बनना है, आईपीएल खेलना है, या टेनिस प्लेयर बनना है मेरी बेटी को. She has to be a district level swimmer. So in that case, they customized everything, their diet, their nutrition chart, their exercise plan, their participations, their regular everyday exercises. So that was their business model. And that was their innovation. Because offering a gym or a sports training facility was not uncommon. We are having those since ages in our country. So people would go to certain cricket academies. If you go around Mumbai, you will find so many cricket academies are there, and best of the best players came out of that. But here, say for example, at Panipat, if somebody wants to become a cricketer, they used to tie up with this Fitso, right? More so, they had a very good clientele of bodybuilders. Fitness trainers may, like, you can go to a gym, you can do exercise, but exactly monitoring everything through a system and keeping a track of everything. So they offered that. So people, I know a couple of fitness enthusiasts who are bodybuilders who build their muscles. They used to use Fitso's platform. So that is all about their funding business model. And how they did some infrastructural, they obviously digitized things, and they had tied up with certain infrastructural facilities within the sports and fitness, yeah, ambit. So that is how it is. So now we will go to the next slide and we'll look into the challenges and the other things as we saw in the case of the other, yeah. So they had a 3x growth initially, and they had a member base of 10,000 across a couple of cities around in Gurgaon and around Gurgaon, NCR majorly. They did not have much in Greater Noida or Noida. So they were limited up to, until 2020, they were limited up to Delhi. They started from Gurgaon. They had a couple of other places around Gurgaon falling in Haryana. And in terms of NCR, they could not even enter Noida by that time. And yet they had a 10,000 strong membership. Largely around swimming. And their impact and success factors that they had, you can also read it from here, that they even went into refurbishing the infrastructure to some extent. Say, for example, if there is a swimming pool in Gymkhana Club in Delhi and it was old, so what they did, they partnered, they refurbished it, made it a much user-savvy model so that they could attract their clientele and making that pool beneficial as well as their own venture beneficial. So they did this kind of small, nitty-gritties to add value to their venture. And they were also not using anything new, because swimming or playing or muscle building was nothing new. So there was no innovation in terms of sports, but in the way they, aggregated that was their innovation. And that created a user trust amongst them. And from word to mouth, it went to what it was. And ultimately it got, adopted, overtaken. So they did their community building very strongly. They kept very good relationships with their users. So that way they were able to nurture a very loyal community around them. And that was probably the biggest factor for their success, while they retained trust of their clientele as well as their investors. So they showed a growth of around 3x by 2020-2021. If we come to the challenges and how they overcome it, I've just touched it. However, the challenges were not too very, stringent. Like when they were majorly into swimming, so swimming has a seasonality. So probably during the winter days and autumn days, people would not come for swimming to a pool, but they have to retain them until summer. So there they were they kept themselves very much engaged with their users, even if it is in the month of December when no pools are operating, but they kept them engaged. And they even offered customized services like temperature controlled pools. Like if there is a party or there is a group of clientele who wanted that we want a poolside party, we want to take a dip in the pool. So they customize, control the temperature of the water, even got some empty pools filled with hot water and things like that. And their operational model was very smooth on either side, on the user side, as well as on the technology side, as well as their infra partner side. Their operational model is very smooth. So it was all about relationship building that got them the major amount of their funding and the trust of their funders, which took them to accelerate up to a 3x to 4x growth by 2021-22. So that brings me towards the end of the second case. Again, if anybody has any questions to ask, I do not know whether I would be able to answer all of them or not, but I'll take a note of that.
Any question, anyone? Okay. So we can move ahead. They'll
हाँ
have
बिल्कुल, अब
questions.
तो आगे बढ़ के एक स्लाइड बचता है मेरा, जो कि जिसमें मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, मैं चाहूंगा कि पार्टिसिपेंट्स बोले, आफ्टर हैविंग had a glance of both the cases. These 4 points which I have listed over is my learning, that adaptation to local market in case of this Kiranas, building strong operational foundations in terms of FITSO, technological integration for scalability, and the use of angel funds for initial growth. This is my takeaway. But since the participants are here and we have engaged for a while, so I would also try to learn more from them. So what else was there, which was the success factor for these angel funded startups?
So, sir, in the chat box, there are two questions. One
Which is the
is,
best option for early stage startups, CDD or equity? Obviously, if you talk to me, equity would be always my second option. Why? If you see it through the lens of any enterprise, a traditional enterprise, you would understand that initially very few go for IPOs, right? So if they do not go for IPOs, why do you want to liquidate your equity, right? You have to, at certain point in time, 2%, 4%, 5%, you have to. But I would always suggest that stabilize yourself first so that you have your own numbers created with your own money. So that is a subtle type of answer which I can give at this forum. Later on, we can talk at large or take a deep dive into it. So it's a one-to-one kind of a thing. And can we have a matrix having critical elements with timelines for getting initial angel investment for my agri-tech startup? Sir, who's this Rajnish Tripathi? What is your venture?
Rajneesh ji, are you there? Should we unmute you? Yes. Rishabh, please unmute Rajneesh. So, sir, Rajneesh ji has a soil testing device.
So the criticality is case specific. He has mentioned agri-tech startups, so there can be many agri-tech startups. So he has a soil testing in Northeast. Probably during the cohort, I came through something like this.
No, not in Northeast.
Huh? Not in
Not in Northeast, yeah.
Okay. So, what is your exact question? What kind of metrics would you require? I think you need to come up with your set of, parentheses.
Rajneesh ji, just raise your hand and my team will unmute you. Yeah. Rishabh, are you there?
Yeah, I have a question. When it comes to equity dilution, how is it allowed? Sir, this is one-to-one. Depends from case to case and absolutely on the relationship that you have or the moment in which you are traversing at that point in time. So there cannot be a generic answer to this. Dr. Mahadeva Swami. Rajnish ji, can you come over? Or you can even type your, one new message.
Rajneesh ji, please
I
unmute
know
yourself.
Vatsala told me that you have a device which monitors moisture and it's more
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Am I
Yes, yes.
audible? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
very
Yes,
much.
yes.
Now tell me,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Vatsala. Thanks, sir. Thanks, Ronnie, for this. Quickly, as I mentioned in the chat box, that we have made an IoT device which measures the soil moisture, water potential, and soil temperature on a real-time basis, which is communicated to the farmers through our multilingual mobile app. So basically, for which type of crop, for which type of soil, at what stage, how much water is required to be given, that's what we communicate to the farmers. That's a device we have made. We have already installed around 25-watt devices for 18 various crops in the states of Haryana, Gujarat, and near Delhi NCR. So my question was, this was a quick background, Ronnie,
So
for your understanding.
you said you have already installed 25?
Devices.
25, 25, right?
Yeah, 25, correct.
Okay.
So we have made the product, we've done the POC, we have done the MVP.
No,
Now
let me ask you a question. So you say you have already installed 25 devices in Gujarat, Haryana, NCR,
yep,
right?
yep,
Where have you installed them? At the premises of the farmers?
yes, at the premises of farmers for 18 various crops, Ronnie.
How big are these farmers?
Okay, so these farmers are maybe averagely more than 10 to 15 acres of land, because no, because what we have done is we have put 3 filters for choosing our customers. As of now, we are not addressing 15 crores worth of farmers. So we are going ahead with farmers who are in the
So
horticulture crops.
I'm sure, Rajnish ji, you must have mapped that going forward in next 1, 2, 3 years,
Yep.
who would be your customers?
Yeah, so we have done
Farmers
that.
like the one where you have already installed or somebody else?
So, someone like the ones where we have already installed. So these are our even
So
going ahead
you are
prospective
talking
customers.
about a customer base of farmers who have a holding of around 10 to 20 acres of land in individual capacity.
Yes, even some of the farmers who are having even more than 200 acres of land currently.
Large farmers, right? So
Yep.
now, so the kind of services or the kind of inputs your device is giving
Mhm.
will only churn out revenue when you go to either very big farmers, orchards, cash crop growers, cooperative societies,
Mhm.
cooperative federations, smallholder farmers would not be able to pay you back.
That we are very clear. That's the reason our current target market, Ronnie, is just probably a crore and a half.
So you have already
farmers.
answered your own question.
Yeah, I know, no. But my question was no. If you read my question, what question I'm asking, if there is a some standard matrix,
It cannot
with critical.
be. It cannot
Okay.
be. It cannot
Okay.
be because the pattern of farming in Haryana is much different from the pattern of farming in Gujarat.
No. I'm asking from the angel investment perspective. If I have to go for an angel
So the
investment.
angel investor would also put in their money in the same
Yep.
manner. Like if you go to Gujarat, which are say 3 prime crops that you would target in Gujarat, where you have to install your this device.
Okay, so you are saying it will be more of a geography based. That's what you're saying.
No, you give me an extempore answer. Suppose
Okay.
I give you an opportunity to sell your device in Gujarat.
Mhm.
You have landed at Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad airport,
Mhm.
and you started traveling by road. So
Mhm.
what would be the farmers? What kind of crops would be the farmers growing who have 20 acres of land, and you
So it
will
is
sell
cotton.
them? Huh?
So it is like currently we have installed that cotton, banana and pomegranate.
Right.
Yep.
Now in Gujarat.
Yep.
Okay. Pomegranate, if you have installed, you must have gone to Mehsana side, right? Where they have the orchards, the largest
Yep.
orchard.
Yep. Yep.
Huh?
Yep. 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 That's not.
Now,
Yep.
now, for banana, you have gone to such farmers who are either growing Robusta or G9, the drier areas,
Correct. Yes.
coastal areas, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And the other crop that you mentioned was
Cotton.
cotton. So
Yep.
cotton, you went to the multimillionaires. Because whosoever is growing a cotton is not growing cotton in kind of a seclusion. They are cartels of cotton growers. Like the entire village would be growing cotton. It's a cartel. It's a feudal system, right? So they are good payers. Now, take that same device. Do you know which part of our country grows maximum bananas, commercial bananas?
We have seen it even in MP when we did POC in Badwani. So certainly banana, they have a huge fields in banana there. But I don't. If you ask me
Now
extempore, so I'm
take it
not.
from me. If you
Yep.
have to, I'm giving you as a case. Banana grown in Gujarat and banana grown in Bihar, Naugachia, Bhagalpur belt. The maximum amount of banana, G9 and Robusta is coming from there to the commercial markets, right? So you have large farmers as well over there. So you go and sell your device. You know what the difference would be? Banana growers of Gujarat have another crop to fall back on. They have already invested into cotton plantations.
Okay.
So their bases are safe. The banana growers of Gujarat are also the traders of pomegranate from Mehsana.
Okay.
So their own ecosystem or the econometrics that floats within those farmers would be entirely and diametrically different from the banana growers of Bihar who only have banana and nothing else at all at banana. And every 3 years, they have to start again.
Yeah, very
They
true.
do not
Correct.
have a crop cycle wherein अच्छा चलो banana कर लिया हमारे
repetitive
दूसरे
नहीं है.
खेत में I have maize and corn. So their econometrics would be different. So obviously, if the econometrics of the production base is different, the economics and the statistics would be different. If the economic and statistics would be different, the DSCR would be different, the ROI would be different,
Okay.
the IRR would be different.
Yep.
So a
Very much.
person who is going to invest, me being me as an AIF investor, I'm an AIF investor. So before investing money into a device being installed in Gaya, specifically talking, because when I make my investment, I'll check your portfolio also that how many machines are you going to install in Gujarat, how
Sure.
many in Bihar, how many in Chhattisgarh.
Very
So
true. Yeah.
I will calculate my risks. That if I put money with Rajneesh, say I vouch 5 lakhs from my side for Rajneesh, Rajneesh जा कहाँ रहा है? अच्छा अभी तो ये करके he has done his POC, he has done his MPV, and he is MVP and he is going to Gujarat. अभी नहीं डालते यार. बिहार साइड में काम करेगा तो ROI आएगा. चलो उसमें डाल देंगे. So that is
Hmm.
why I said that you cannot have a standard and generalized matrix. It will always be a case-to-case basis. And as a humble submission and suggestion,
Mhm.
I think you must, the kind of technology or the kind of device that you have, I think you must start connecting with the Federation of Farmers Cooperatives right now, right
Mhm.
from the beginning. They
Okay.
have money to, they have, even they can become your angel investor. I can name a couple of them.
Sure, please.
You Google and you'll find out about a platform called Agribid Private Limited, AGRIBID Private
Mhm.
Limited. Now,
Okay.
they are one of the aggregators, farm to market aggregators, one of the largest within the cooperative sector. Even the big federations of cooperatives like क्या कहते हैं इसको SFSC,
Mhm.
NCCF. So they are the ones who do the entire procurement for these cooperatives also. So they
Okay.
would be your prospective clients initially who would take your device
Mhm.
for testing, and at the same time they will also come in terms with you. They will extend their own terms. So what if I place an order for 1,000 such devices across this place? Against
Mhm.
that, you take some funding from me. That
Okay.
will be an
Okay.
angel, that would be a VC, that would be a debt instrument, whatever.
Mhm.
So I think you, when it comes to GTM, you have gone to the farmers for testing your technology. That is fine.
Sure.
For testing your business, you go to the federations. That would
Fantastic.
be your primary client.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
हम्म।
Thank you,
अभी क्या है
Rajnish.
कि हॉस्पिटल बेड बना करके अगर घर में लाके बैठेंगे तो घर पे
Hmm.
तो उस पे सो करके आराम मतलब मालूम हो जाएगा, इट्स कंफर्टेबल। बट जब उसको बेचना है तो घर में नहीं
Hmm.
बिकेगा, वो
Hmm.
हॉस्पिटल में बिकेगा।
बिल्कुल समझ में आ गया सर. So nice. So nice. Thanks a lot, Ronnie.
थैंक
Thanks.
यू, थैंक यू
Got
सो
it.
मच।
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
चलो, so that brings that's a conclusive thing. Anything else? Yes, I see another message popping in. Let me just check what's it. What's
So,
the question on angel investment? Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat for banana. Acha, you only asked. Okay. No, somebody else asked.
no, that's okay, sir.
Acha, it happens,
Yes.
Abhishek. It happens. Even when you talk, you will also diversify and get diverted. No worries. That happens. Let's take in the stride and good spirits.
There
So
are three more questions.
one more
Uh,
question.
Three more questions in the question answer box. What rights and controls should I give to angel investors? The
Who is
next would,
asking that?
so it's an anonymous attendee, and there's someone by
Okay, my
TV.
answer would be anonymous as well. It's 100% up to you. If somebody is giving you money, so you have every right to question him, favor him, or disregard him. You do not have a formula for that. It's 100% personal. It depends upon the relationship that you have built. I know certain startups wherein the angel, they haven't even seen a single PPT. Only on face value, they have put in their money. Acha, you are doing. I don't know what you are doing. I can give you this much of money. I do not want any stake. Whenever you feel like, you return. That kind of thing has also happened in this world. So it's 100% personal. You cannot have a formula for it.
Should we pitch differently to angels and VCs?
At the very beginning of this presentation, Vatsala, I said one thing, that relationship matters, because I have personally felt that. Please take it with a pinch of salt. Most of our youngers, let me use that word, when it comes to pitching or putting forward an idea, actually you are selling your venture, you are selling your idea, you are selling your product or service to earn profit. It's a kind of an investment you are making towards earning a revenue. So be soft, be courteous, be friendly, be accommodative. This is what I have seen many pitches. For funding pitches, the founders are not accommodative. No, no, no. This is what I have thought and I'll do this. You do not fund me. No worries. I'll go to somebody else. Okay, you can go to somebody else. But this person whom you have dumped can also go to somebody else and tell him that don't give him money. Because there is an ecosystem. Like, even if I have to invest 1 lakh rupees, I would ask my dearest friend who is into some other AIF or in some other area, कि ये कैसा है यार, इसका बैकग्राउंड कैसा है, इसका पहले का क्या है. So this world depends on word of mouth. This entire ecosystem is very closely knit. Everybody knows the other person. So be very soft, be very positive, be very accommodative. Even if you do not like the approach, please do not reject it. Probably you can find another angel investor, but this person can go to that person and tell him that you are investing in so and so venture. Just देख लेना भाई, मेरे से बात हो चुकी है, and it gets messed up.
Okay. And one last question that I see is, what milestones do investors typically expect before investing?
See, everybody looks for profit. That's for sure. Some people look for early profit, some people look for delayed and sustainable profit. But the general rule of thumb is that if I'm putting in 100 rupees, that 100 rupees should become 2x in 4 to 5 years time. 20% growth per annum cumulatively. That is a standard rule. Even when we put in money, we also look at that. अच्छा जो 20% दे रहा है तो ठीक है यार, वो मैं देख लूँ 15 देगा 17 देगा. मैं अगर म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डाल दूं तो 15 रुपया मिलेगा एवरेज 5 साल में. ये अगर 17 देता है 20 देता है तो फेयर इनफ, माई मनी इज या दैट वे. इट्स अ थंब रूल, 20% per annum.
Absolutely, sir. Yeah. So we've come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, Tony sir, for your valuable time. And I think there are a couple of startups who would want to get connected with you.
Obviously, you can put in my number, they can take a screenshot.
Sure. I will, Dr. Mahadevaswamy, I will share with you the number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Vatsala.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Thank you so
everyone for joining on a Saturday. Hope the session was informative to you all. And we'll be back with many more sessions. You guys can also let WhatsApp me directly or email me about any of the issues that you want me to get addressed. We will try to get it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ronnie sir. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.